So now let me tell you about another example of a rather unattractive industry and one company that has been able to really make a lot of profit in that industry. Let's talk about the US supermarket industry. It's actually an industry that has become quite competitive and somewhat fragmented. So we have some companies like Whole Foods, which has really captured the top end of the market with lots of organic foods and relatively high price points. On the other side, we have actually Walmart, which not just is a big discounter, but has become now the largest US supermarket chain in terms of the number of products that they sell. And below Walmart, we even have other companies which are called hard discounters, like a Dollar General, that sell at even lower costs. And then in the middle, we have a set of firms that are somewhat undifferentiated. And very fierce competition is occurring there because they look all the same. Whether it's a Safeway or an Albertsons or a Kroger's, you go into these stores and they look all, roughly speaking, the same. They all offer the same set of branded products. And as a result, we have fairly fierce competition among these set of firms. So how would you try to compete in this particular market where you have strong players at all different parts of the chain in that industry? Well, there's one firm that has been really successful, and that firm is Trader Joe's. So let's discuss Trader Joe's strategy. First, we wanted to think about what's the source of competitive advantage. Is it high prices or lower cost? Indeed, it is actually lower costs. Their prices are fairly similar to what other supermarkets are charging. But where they're quite different is in the scope, what kind of products they offer. Because they actually offer mainly their own products, their own branded products. Quite often they're organic, but not always. But it's products you don't find in other stores. In terms of the geography, they started in California, but they're rolling it out now. And thirdly, in terms of customers, there's a funny way of describing their customers. They describe them as overeducated and underpaid. So I clearly shop there. It's a really fun experience actually to shop there because what else you find there is very knowledgeable and very friendly staff. So that's quite different. So this is, in a nutshell, what Trader Joe's is doing. Now let's think about more of the detailed activities that they're engaging in. So what does Trader Joe's do differently from other companies? They have fairly small stores. They have very limited SKUs, very limited number of products. In any product category, you'll only find one or two different variations. They don't have strict planograms, meaning that each store looks a little bit different, because they allow the store managers to decide really where to locate various products. They don't have coupons. They never have a sale. It's everyday low pricing. They don't have wide aisles. They don't have checkout lines where you can self-checkout. They do have very knowledgeable staff that are actually happy to work in these stores. They are located in strip malls, quite often away from other stores. They purchase their products directly from vendors, and actually you don't know who these vendors are. So there's quite some vendor secrecy around that. All of these things we'll see in a moment will actually have a number of potential advantages. So on this map, I've tried to do an exercise of, again, mapping out the various choices that Trader Joe's has engaged in and how they interact. And again, through this exercise, we can start to see some choices are fairly central, some choices are more peripheral. And later exercises, we will ask you to think about various activity systems of other firms and of your firm as well. So this is just, again, as an example for you to see these kind of systems to give you some practice later in doing it yourself. So what are the consequences of Trader Joe's actions and particular choices? Well, first of all, having lots of private label products in their store reduces competition. Because, if I buy a Coke bottle, I know exactly what I'm getting and I can get it in lots of different stores. But the particular products that Trader Joe's offers, I can only get at Trader Joe's. Secondly, since they are private label and I don't know who the vendors are, Trader Joe's can actually switch the suppliers. So if a particular supplier of their pretzels wants to charge a higher price to Trader Joe's can just switch to a different vendor of pretzels because it is marketed under Trader Joe's label. So that reduces the supplier power. Also, since I, as the customer, actually don't know who the supplier was, I don't really know whether you switched the supplier or not. Another thing that Trader Joe's quite often does is they change their product mix fairly frequently. So products once in a while don't happen to be on the shelf anymore. What does that do? Again, right, if a supplier tries to squeeze Trader Joe's too much, Trader Joe's can just say, fine, I'm not going to stock your product anymore. And customers will be fine with that because they will know that products will not always be on the shelves. Lastly, Aldi's location in these strip malls, of course, also reduces their real estate costs. So they are not fighting with these other supermarkets for prime locations. They are far away, reducing their costs there as well. So it is quite helpful to really think explicitly about what a firm is not doing. So let's do this for Trader Joe's. What is Trader Joe's not doing? Well, first of all, they're not selling any branded products. Secondly, they don't offer any coupons. Third, they never have anything on sale. Next, they don't have any broad product offering. They don't do TV advertising. They don't have a loyalty card. They don't have self-checkout lanes. They don't have ample parking. They don't have white aisles. Now, if I came to you and said, this is my business plan, I want to enter the supermarket industry and I don't do any of these things, how would you think? Well, first of all, you would think I'm crazy, right? I mean, how will you compete in this market, you say, by doing all of these things that are completely different from what anyone else is doing? And that's exactly the point, right? Because if I just try to do what everyone else is doing, how do I think I'm going to compete against Walmart or against Whole Foods or against Safeway? So I really have to find a set of choices that is quite different. Clearly, the set of choices creates certain trade-offs. There are certain things that, given these choices, I cannot do. So for instance, as a shopper, I can't get all my shopping done at Trader Joe's. There are certain products I can't get. There are certain branded products I can't get, right? I really want my Diet Coke, but I can't get it there. So I have to go to other places to get it. So it also always forces customers to visit other stores, which is a problem potentially for Trader Joe's. It clearly limits Trader Joe's growth because there are certain items I would love to buy there as well, but I can't get them there. So there are certain costs. So clearly Trader Joe's doesn't try to be everything to everyone. And that's, again, exactly the point. Because they don't try to be everything to everyone, it is actually rather unattractive for other firms to copy what they do. Because really, all the things that Trader Joe's is doing, they could be copied. Of course, I could also choose not to offer coupons. I can also choose to have narrow aisles, right? Each of these choices is not hard to duplicate, but actually no one wants to duplicate them because it doesn't make sense given their own strategy. So this is, I think, a wonderful example of a firm that has chosen a quite distinct set of choices. And because it is so distinct, other firms don't even have the incentive to copy them. And that is what has allowed Trader Joe's to actually now have the highest sales per square foot of any supermarket in the US.